me with the demo rides going on. Just one of the many things you can do at a live Bassmaster event. But no matter where you are in the world, I want to welcome you into our on-location coverage, 180,000-acre impoundment in the great state of Louisiana. And as I said, we return for the first time in 7 years to Toledo Bend to kick off the 2024 Bassmaster Elite Series season. And we return to Manny, Louisiana. And man, it's been 7 years, but it sure feels like we're home here at Cypress Bend. An incredible park, an incredible facility, and an incredible mass of people that came here yesterday to cheer on the Elite Series pros. Yesterday there was 50, but today only 10 remain. Championship Sunday, the first stop of the 2024 Bassmaster Elite Series. And as I spend pretty much all of these events, I have the honor, I just have a hole that makes the words, but this guy right here is a Bassmaster Classic champion, two-time Angler of the Year, Bass Fishing Hall of Famer, and really all things good on earth. Davey Height, standing here, it feels like all things good on earth. It was a little chillier this morning, but man, it is spectacular weather. But is Kyoya Fachita just going to stomp and steal the dreams from it's like he just when you think, oh, wow, he does have tough times. Yeah. It's Championship Sunday, and he's looking to make tough times for everyone else.
Yeah, he definitely is, and got off to a great start this morning. His first fish was about a 6-pounder. Only 4 fish in live well, but 19 pounds. That's the right 4 that you want on Championship Sunday, no doubt about it. I think the big thing for him, let's say he does go on to win this, although it's far from over, very far from over. But the big thing for Kyoya was yesterday when he was struggling and he moved over to the other side of the lake. He totally changed areas that he had been fishing for 2.5 days and was able to survive and come in with just a solid, decent limit for Toledo Bend. Could be the big move for him in the entire tournament yesterday doing that.
Didn't have a lot to say this morning at takeoff, but an incredible vibe because this is one of those deals where Pat Schlopper had a lead and not a lot of pressure on everybody else, but let's see how it's all broken down with our Toyota midday report. And let's start with 4-time Bassmaster winner, young Patrick Walters.
Yeah, Patrick Walters, no surprise to see him doing well here. Forward-facing sonar working for all of our top 10 here today on Championship Sunday. Patrick Walters, one of the best in the business. Whether you're in Louisiana or New York or Florida, Patrick Walters is going to use this. Interesting enough, though, to hear him talk coming in this tournament. I want to be able to flip bushes. I want to be able to fish, power fish on shore, but just not enough fish of those fish have moved up so far. And he has used forward-facing the entire event, and it's no surprise to see him in our top 5.
They said he couldn't do it, but just event after event, whether it's the Opens or the Elite Series, Ben Milliken proves why he may just be the next big thing, Ben Milliken.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say it's no surprise to see him in the top 10 winning the Open here last year. But if you've ever fished tournaments, you realize, and I know you fish a lot of tournaments, but I'm speaking to the audience, if you've ever fished any tournaments, you know how hard it is to meet those expectations from a winning a year ago or coming to a new trail like the Elite Series and the competition that is here to have a chance to win. But he has absolutely done that, showing that he is the real deal, Ben Milliken.
Oh, that could work too. Pat Schlopper, an incredible regional pro. He'll tell you himself, literally won hundreds of tournaments in Wisconsin. But this is where the best regional pros come together to see if they can make it on a national level, and this would seal his career.
Yeah, absolutely. Pat Schlopper said he spent the offseason, spent a lot of time trying to hone his skills, using the forward-facing technology, using a lot of jig head minnows. He saw a lot of the other anglers catching fish on that last year throughout the year, and I'd say he's done quite well in the offseason. To be honest with you, when he said on day one, I can beat Kyoya Fachita at this game, I'm like, ooh, that's a pretty big statement. But who could argue that going out this morning as a leader? He has struggled a little bit this morning. I think maybe the pressure in that area, there's been so many boats, locals, camera boats, along with a lot of our anglers in the top 10 right in this area, kind of out at the mouth of housing. We'll just see how the afternoon unfolds, but a lot of pressure there today being the 4th day in a row.
Speaking of pressure, he doesn't feel no stinking pressure. He's an Elite Series rookie, Robert G, in his first event, threatening for his first win.
Yeah, Robert G., another angler, said, I'd rather be cranking in this tournament, you know, offshore cranking or maybe some shallow cranking, square bills up around the shoreline. But the fish that he was able to locate in practice were deeper in those ditches, heading into these pre-spawn areas, setting up. Some wintertime setups, he said, and some pre-spawn, but you can see here in the background, he's not real far offshore like a lot of these other anglers. He is on the other side of the lake from housing there on the Louisiana side, catching most of his fish. Could certainly be his biggest benefit, currently being in the second place, fishing in the area basically by himself all week.
But the guy that you have to watch out for, he has proved all last rookie season, 5 top 10s, and threatening his goal this season. And he admitted on stage, on the dock this morning, I want to make the top 10 Championship Sunday in every Elite Series event. That is scary.
That is very scary, but also you have to look, and if somebody says that, you think, oh yeah, right, we all want to make every top 10, but who has ever done that? Like nobody in the history of our sport. But you look at his rookie season last year, he came real close to doing that, but when he stumbled, he really stumbled hard. He would have that 80th, 90th place finish, just really kind of be out in left field. If he doesn't have those, it's very possible he could make all of our top 10s, and he will be a name we need to start talking about for possibly being our Angler of the Year.
And when you communicate with him, there's no sarcasm or anything like that. You know, he's not saying things, like, he speaks literally. You know, I mean, I'm sure it's easy to translate that way, but that's his goal. It's not like Polnick says that every year, and I know it's his goal, but when he looked at me, but like he didn't even blink. It was just...
Yeah, literally, man, a few words, few English words,
yeah.
But the ones he says have significant meaning and very impressive today.
Catfish.
Oh, catfish.
Yeah.
Hey, Slopper said something super cool at takeoff today, and literally got a round of applause from the dock and everything. Sherry is right behind him, and I'm like, what are you going to do? This is the guy that everybody in the world says nobody can beat. You're ahead of him, but he is chasing you down. And he said, you know what? In the last year, the world, bass fishing has heard a lot of negativity. People saying stuff like, you know, that's not fair what he's doing. I can't compete against that. And he said, you know what? That's not why I'm here. He says, coming here, being part of the Elite Series, my whole goal from day number one was when I see somebody that's better at something, when I see somebody that people say can't be beat, that's what motivates me. And he said Kyoya Fujita particularly was the thing that kept him so locked in, perfecting things in the offseason.
That's incredible for him to say that this morning with Kyoya sitting right there.
Yeah, wild.
That would be like sitting in front of Denny Brower, first and second place, Denny being in second, and you saying, you know, I learned from you, but I perfected your skill. Now it's mine, and I think I can beat you at your best.
9-pounder, please. Swim towards me.
And to be clear, it was not said with any arrogance or anything like that. I mean, he meant it with all respect. He just said, that's the target, and it's motivating me. But a guy that motivates a lot of people and doing something just a little bit different. Chris Johnson, the first Canadian ever to win an Elite Series event. What?
Yes. I did hear through the rumor mill yesterday at the weigh-in that Chris Johnson actually was looking at him with his polarized sunglasses and fishing for one or two on the bed. Looks like that's what he's up to right now.
Uh, 5 to 6.
They're so nonchalant about everything.
Just
a
trying
lot like
something
Jordan
different.
Lee, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I did my morning thing. I gave it probably 2.5 hours. Got some fish, actually pretty good numbers, but no good ones. I was hoping to get maybe 2 or 3 good ones this morning live scoping, and just didn't happen. But I did see some big ones in one of the creeks there following my stuff. Might go back there in a little bit, but I know there's some fish pulling up on beds, so I'm just looking, and I just saw one about 5 to 6 paired up, but she won't lock on yet, so I'm gonna give her a little bit and come back. And saw 1 or 2 more females kind of around, but not on beds. So I'm just gonna give this an hour and a half or so, just to keep it honest. And I feel like this is one of my ways that I could weigh 30 if I had a chance at it. Kind of getting sick of going out and live scoping in the timber. My eyes need a break. This is what I love doing, so I can't drop much, but there's potential to get 2 7-8 pounders doing this real quick. So just going down the calm shore here, burning some bank, and we'll see what happens. But I'm coming back to that female I just saw here. Give her about a half hour. I'm gonna sneak in and see if I can get her.
We talk about how lethal both those brothers are. Chris Johnson's been here 5 years. This is his 19th top 10.
That's incredible. That's incredible. I heard you mention that this morning, and it amazed me. And I've been here for all 5 watching him on this side of the desk. That's really amazing. If you look at anyone's career through the history of the sport, to make that many top 10s in your first 5 years on the Elite Series is absolutely incredible. I did just hear something I didn't know that I would ever hear in this sport, though. He's going to the bank to look for fish on the bed to give his eyes a break.
Now for something completely different.
Yeah. Give his eyes a break from looking at that screen.
Chris will also be happy to know that him and his brother were in a 2-way tie, both with 18 top 10s.
Wow.
And
so he just beat his brother again.
Sorry, Corey.
That's something. Sorry, Corey, if you're listening.
And that's why Corey calls the first 4 years of his life the good old days. You look at both the Johnston brothers, and we've talked about their record up north and everything. But honestly, if you had to write down on a piece of paper, a poll, most versatile pros on tour, they got to be in the top 5.
Yeah. Well,
top 10. When you look at, like, where's their weakness?
Right. And the fact that they've made that many top 10s tells you how versatile they are, because obviously we don't have all of our tournaments in smallmouth waters.
Yeah. TH Marine weather watch, and there's your current condition: 73 degrees, sunny, southwest winds 9 miles per hour. Wonderfully hospitable for an afternoon weigh-in.
Boy, the weigh-in yesterday, the crowds that we had were absolutely incredible. It shouldn't surprise me. I mean, we are in bass fishing country, but it was absolutely amazing at the thousands of people that were here for a Saturday weigh-in on the Bassmaster Elites.
Yeah, and one of our Cajun co-workers, Andy Crawford, reminded me it's the week after Mardi Gras. This would have been bigger last week.
Wow.
Incredible crowd.
There will be a bed in here. Not yet.
And so passionate. You know, it is one of the, I hate that we haven't been here in 7 years. We can only go to 9 places a year. You know, when we release the schedule, I always feel like that's a great time to make 9 people happy and just upset everybody else.
Right.
But that's also one of the cool things about not being here in 7 years.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Great point.
That being said, I'd love to come back here every year. Never had more dinner invites in my life.
Yeah. That's one thing I love about coming to this part of the country, Louisiana, East Texas area. They love to eat some good food, some really good food, and they're all very welcoming to have you join them on any meal at any time.
My problem is a lot of times I don't even know what it is. Like, what's boudin?
That's a great question. It's a great question.
Pretty sure there's a light
My
one
problem
sitting
is
right there.
I don't have to know what something is to eat it. I eat boudin. I like it, but I don't know what it is. It's boudin.
Well, we did see that last year during the Redfish Cup,
See
didn't
that
we?
thing?
Oh, yes, we did.
Woo Pig Suey.
It's going to eat my stuff.
Looks like Chris Johnston has found him one to fish for here up shallow.
Change is
Hooked
happening.
up.
Johnson
That
hooked
was
up.
the dumbest bed fish I've ever seen. Sitting right on top of it, never moved.
I'm hearing he's not the only one that's changing things up.
Never moved an inch on the bed when I went over it. Just dropped the Cinco over the side. 3-pounder.
Speaking of changing
They're moving up.
things up, his smallest is a
Hopefully in a
1/8.
half hour, we'll go get that big female.
So I got a question for you. He said that's the dumbest sight fish I think I've ever fished for. Could that be partly because nobody's been up there messing with those fish this week?
That's when they're the dumbest.
It didn't even look
Chris
that
Johnson
big down
became
there.
the first Canadian ever to win an Elite Series event. He's been close many times, but got it all done back in 2020. Ironically, the first time in history when Canadians couldn't cross the border, a Canadian wins an Elite Series event.
Yeah, just look at his 4-day total there of 97 pounds, 8 ounces. Day one, 27 pounds of smallmouth. That is a feat anywhere, anytime to open the tournament up with 27 pounds, and he was able to hold on to the lead throughout and hold that trophy over his head. Certainly a very gratifying moment for a young Chris Johnson. One of many, I'm sure, to come.
How about that big old tub of hand sanitizer up there?
Bringing back memories. I was looking at the blue trophy. You were looking at the hand sanitizer.
There was this period of time I had my own little cocktail lounge up there. Don't come near me.
Oh, look at Pat Slopper. Definitely have not seen any of this from him this week.
He talked about before day 2, he was worried about pressure on his fish. Or sorry, before day 3,
Yeah.
he said, I don't know. And obviously it worked well for him. We saw Kyoya struggle. But this is one thing about Schlopper too, very much like the Johnsons. He is, I'm trying to pick his weakness, you know. He very versatile angler.
Definitely
I mean, he
is.
not just that, he likes to go to Jamaica and catch things up in the mountains.
Wow. Looks like he
Loves
made a
Jamaica.
smart move. Didn't take long to put one in a boat with a vibrating jig up in shallow vegetation. It'll be amazing.
How cool would that be?
Yep.
If this tournament, after this week, the way it's been fished, if all of a sudden, boom.
Go to the bank and catch a fish. And we've only seen 2 anglers do that, attempt to do that, and in a very short time putting fish in the boat. When we talked about the pressure, and I was down there, it's hard to even describe. It's kind of like the crowd here yesterday. It's hard to describe how many people. It's hard to describe how many people were on the water around those anglers at the mouth of Housing yesterday and the day before. And there's been no one up around the bank, and this could really, really be a game changer with Chris Johnson and Pat Slopper moving up to that shallow water.
We're to Ben Milliken live. Unflappable, really. This morning takeoff, like so relaxed. Had
Yeah.
3 photographers and videographers around him.
No!
Oh boy.
Oh,
Dude, that was like an 8-pounder.
And the fuck dude was, the fish spit it out.
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
Did you hear that? An 8-pounder, he said.
Right beside the boat. Got a little glimpse of it, but I don't doubt that it. Ooh, look right there from the drone. Holy cow! I saw it pretty good. There it is.
It's like dragging a 5-gallon bucket.
Oh, it looked bigger than 8 pounds.
Wow. Gosh, I don't want
That
to insert
hurts.
myself in this story, but did I just say, like, the kicker never misses?
Yeah, yeah. Take a look. This is great. A great shot from our drone. Watch for it right there. You see it right in the middle of the screen. Look at that fish. I'm saying it's every bit of 8 pounds. What a great shot.
And take into account, we're looking at a drone shot high above him. Everything looks smaller.
Yes.
Like even when you catch it.
Yes.
I mean, I've shot aerial shots of muskies. They look tiny from that angle.
Yes.
That thing did not look tiny at all.
No, it was not tiny.
Wow.
And how many times have we heard I lost a big one? I lost the one that could have done it for me, but unfortunately that could have been the one for Ben Milliken.
Oh, lot of things going on with Milliken today.
Yeah.
I'm here. We can't hear what's happening because, am I allowed to say this? Our camera guy, sometimes lures get hooked in parts of, our camera guy got hooked in the face. So
unbelievable.
And here's the nice thing about Ben Milliken, always a professional. I've heard him say it before. I mean, if I hook you, you can keep the lure. Oh, he did not get hooked in the face. It just grazed him.
Just grazed him.
So he doesn't get to keep the lure.
He doesn't get to keep the lure. Dang. Do you think we could get Kioya's cameraman to get a hook in the face so he could keep the lure so we'd finally find out what lure he's using?
We might need. Jake will do it. I'll text him. Come on. Take one for the team. You know what? We need to bring the show back up. We're feeling down. We lost a fish. There's only one way to bring it up, Davey Height, and I will give you the honor.
When you lose an 8-pounder, you've got to catch a big one, and we're going to have to go away from Ben Milliken, unfortunately for him, to see a big one. But Robert G., power pole replay of the day, he had a big one on. And the hook did not come out of it and go to the cameraman.
Let's freaking go. Hey, here you go.
Absolutely incredible start for this young Elite Series rookie, Robert G. The angler that told me he almost vomited the first morning here, looking around at all the stars of this sport. Well, you keep making these championship Sundays, and you're certainly going to be a big star of this sport. Power pole replay today, Robert G.
Let's freaking go, Davey Height. Let's freaking go. There was some low lights there, but we recovered with Robert G, and a lot more to come right here from Toledo Bend in beautiful Manny, Louisiana. Bassmaster
live.
Tacos.
Can Billy come out to play?
Yeah!